Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Yeezy Basketball Knit. So does this shoe basketball? So the other basketball Yeezy shoe, you know, the Quantums, they do basketball. They're actually very nice. And this shoe uses pretty much the same exact outsole and midsole. Pretty much. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. But of course, we have this crazy thick, very plush knit upper. That's why it's called the Basketball Knit. This shoe retails for freaking 300 bucks, which is absolutely insane. But of course, on StockX and on GOAT, it's going for like 100. I've seen it at as low as like 120 bucks to like as high as like 180 bucks. So not a terribly expensive shoe if you want to buy the resale, right? So if you guys do want to get it, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the tracciones. And we have like a wave bone traction pattern, super wavy, right? And then at the tips or like the points of the wave bone, we have like a triangle shape, right? And that goes pretty much throughout this entire outsole, and also it's semi-translucent. So how is the bite? So if you're playing on a clean court, oh my goodness, it has a very good bite, almost top tier. You stop pretty much on a dime, and yeah, you're not gonna have any types of problems if you're playing on a clean court. If you're playing on a dusty court, you should also still be good. You know, it does pick up dust a little bit. Like I would say it picks up dust like every 3 to 4 plays. It's not terribly fast, which is a good thing, but also it's a pretty easy wipe. You know, you just do a slight wipe or two and you're good to go, which I really liked. And also, if you're gonna be playing on an altar court, it's probably not the best option. You know, the grooves are pretty thin and the rubber is soft. And also, it retails for 300 bucks. So if you paid retail, that kind of sucks. But if you're paying a little bit cheaper for the resale, then I guess you should be okay playing on altar court. It's probably not the best option though. So yeah, I really had no issues. It played very similarly or pretty much identical to the Yeezy Quantums, which the traction on that shoe was really nice as well. So the traction here on the Knit Basketball is also very good. Also, as you guys can see through the semi-translucent outsole, we can see the torsional support plate, right? So it's like a U shape here in the forefoot and it connects all the way here into the heel. And let's segue here into the heel to toe transition. So heel to toe transition is not the best. I mean, it's kind of smooth, but I definitely feel like it could be a lot better, right? So as you guys can see here in the heel, it's a crazy thick plastic. There's pretty much no compression here in the midsole, so it's pretty clunky, right? But it's a little bit of a rounded shape, so it's not terribly clunky like the Jordan 12s. It's just not as smooth as I would like, right? And then here in the forefoot, it's a pretty flat shape. Look at that. But we have a good amount of forefoot flex. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I definitely feel like the heel to toe transition could be a little bit, or actually a lot better. So there is that. Moving on to the cushioning setup though, the cushioning setup is really nice, right? So we have full length boost, although it is hella caged. I don't know why they caged it so damn much. We have all this like see-through cage. I mean, this see-through cage is a little bit softer, but it's also here on the lateral and medial side of the shoe. And then here in the heel, we have a great big old piece of plastic, I'm guessing, right? It's a really hard plastic too. It's not like on the Harden Volume 6 where it's like a softer type of rubber where it allows the actual midsole to compress a little bit. This is just super hard, right? So like I said, the midsole doesn't compress that much, but stepping comfort is really good. You can definitely feel the boost right underneath your foot. It's soft. There's nice compression in the forefoot and also in the heel. So that's nice, right? And the court feel is extremely good as well. I mean, like you're right on top of the ground, which I really like. So overall, there's things that I don't like about it, and there's things that I do like, right? So stepping comfort is really nice, and court feel is good, and I guess like overall impact protection is pretty good for how low to the ground you are. But if you're doing really hard impacts, like heel strikes and landing hard here in the forefoot, your feet are gonna hurt a little bit. So just watch out for that. But I definitely do wish, just remove this, man. Why do you have this here in the heel? This is too much. You know, just in my personal opinion, it's too much. Or you don't even have to remove it. Just make it a little bit softer so that there's a little bit more compression. Then I feel like you make it a lot better, right? But overall, I feel like I like it a little bit more than I don't like it. So I would say it's a pretty nice cushioning setup. All right, moving on to the materials. So the knit is too much, in my personal opinion, right? It feels like a knit where your grandma would make you like a sweater, right? It's super thick. which I don't like too much for basketball. It makes it feel a little too bulky in my personal opinion. If you want something really cozy and very comfortable, then by all means, you should get this shoe. But for me, it was too thick, too cozy, really hot as well. Like ventilation was not very good. So my feet were burning inside of the shoe. And also, as you guys can see, it goes all the way up here into the ankle area. So my like foot and ankle were just hot. It's really comfortable though, right? It has a nice little stretch to it. It feels basically like you're wearing a sock. So I do like that it's comfortable. But for basketball, I feel like it's a little too much for me. As far as the quality goes, it's amazing quality. It feels great. I mean, you're paying $300 freaking for it, so it better have a very nice quality knit. It doesn't feel glued down really at all. You know, it just feels like a straight up knit, which is a good thing. And also for the lacing system, we have these rope laces that go pretty much right through the upper, which of course most Yeezys do that, right? And then for the ankle part, look, this part's super stretchy, right? This part is super stretchy, but once you go down here, like right in this area, there is so much freaking padding. It was hard to show in camera because like I couldn't really like open this part easily, so I'm sorry I couldn't really show you guys, but there's a crazy amount of foam here, in the bottom part as well, and also right here, right where the tongue's supposed to be, right on top of your foot. There's a crazy thick foam there too, so it's really bulky feeling, right? So there's the material there. Moving on to the fit, holy crap guys. So I went true to size, and I would say it does stretch out, and the fit does get roomier. But when I first got it was way too tight, and my feet were hurting, and my feet were getting needles as well. So lengthwise, it was good to go. I mean, I would say it's a little short, but overall, it wasn't terrible. And I like a snug fit, so I could work with it. But here in the toe box, super freaking snug, and I've never had such a narrow ass shoe. Look at how narrow it is, especially here at the tip of the toe. So if you have a really skinny foot, and I guess like you want a really snug fit, then you should be fine going true to size. If you have a normal foot and you like a snug fit, probably go up half a size. Maybe go true to size if you want something super snug, but I was suggest going up a little bit. If you have a wide foot or you want a really roomy fit, just don't get this shoe. This shoe is, I don't think you'll enjoy it, right? It's a really snug fit here in the forefoot, also here in the midfoot. And also, at first, this shoe is extremely freaking hard to put on, right? It does definitely get a lot easier once you keep playing in it and once you keep putting it on, stretching out the knit and stuff. But like the first couple of times, it's really hard. I feel like I almost like broke my ankle trying to put my foot into the shoe. So that also was something that was really annoying in this shoe as well. But of course, it does get better once you break it in, like I said. So there's that. Moving on to the support and lockdown. Support and lockdown was absolutely horrendous. Like I said in the first impressions, it never got better. And support is something that doesn't usually get better, right? If support is bad in the first impressions, it's not gonna get better in the performance review, right? So as you guys can see, for lateral containment, you would think you'll be really good just because you have this like cage coming up here in the forefoot, and you have this crazy heel counter in the heel. So lateral containment you would think would be good, right? But actually wasn't, just because this knit has a lot of stretch to it. Like when you feel it with your finger, it feels pretty supportive, right? There's not a whole lot of stretch to it, maybe just a tiny bit, but when you're playing with it, this material stretches a good freaking amount, right? Especially when you're doing lateral movements, right? So it moves over on itself a lot, and the type of responsiveness I would get from the actual shoe, especially doing crossovers and step backs, it was really bad. You know, I definitely felt a lot slower in this shoe than in like pretty much every other shoe that I'm testing right now. So yeah, the responsiveness was terrible. Lateral containment was really bad as well. And of course, if you're heavier, you're gonna feel it a lot more than me. So yeah, that definitely does suck. I mean, if you don't do a whole lot of cuts and lateral movements and you're more of like a spot up shooter or something, or maybe you just like post up, then I feel like you should be okay. But if you're doing a lot of lateral movements, lateral containment is really bad in this shoe. As far as lateral stability goes, you're gonna be good to go. I mean, Adidas usually makes really wide bases, and as you guys can see here, this part just protrudes out like crazy. You're low to the ground as well, so lateral stability is really good. Ankle support, you're not gonna really get anything. I mean, it's pretty easily moved here. There's not a whole lot of ankle support. So yeah, I mean, the support is terrible. It was really bad. I feel like what they did here in the knit was just it didn't hit. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely should have made it a lot more supportive. You know, even if they added a little bit of glue and made it a little bit stiffer, I would not have minded. You know, I would rather have that than have terrible support. You know what I mean? So there's that. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. So if you guys remember, this shoe is the heaviest shoe I've ever weighed on this channel. Like, I cannot believe how heavy this shoe is. Like, it's freaking, what is it? 18.13 ounces. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, the LeBron 19 is just as heavy. It was like 18 ounces, right? Let's check the other pair. Yeah, 18.45 freaking ounces, guys. Like, yeah, so when I was playing in it, I definitely felt the weight. Yeah, it was freaking heavy. It felt like a boot. And it felt really bulky as well, just because of this knit. There's a lot of foam. It's a really thick knit as well. So it's comfortable, but it's really bulky, very heavy, and I felt pretty fatigued after like a game or two. Especially since I was playing like other shoes like the Curry 9, which is like, I play in the Curry 9 good amounts lately. And like, you know, the PG6 as well, which is very light. Switching to these, I was like, yo, this is like, I got some crazy ass Timbs on or something. That's what it felt like. And also, not only that, the support wasn't good. So it's not a responsive shoe at all. I felt really slow and sluggish when I was playing the shoe too. So yeah, there's the weight there. I don't know how you mess it up that much. I mean, don't you? I feel like when I talk to people, and I like when they ask me like, what shoe should I get? You know, because they know what I do, right? And then I ask them like, what are you looking for? You know what I mean? Because everyone has their own taste. Everyone has what they like and stuff like that. And usually, like most of the time, what people say is they want a light shoe. Light shoe with good grip. They are like the two most common things. This shoe is not lightweight at all. And if I was to make a basketball shoe, I would never make a shoe this heavy. It's freaking heavier than a pound. I have small feet. Imagine someone with bigger feet, like size 10, size 11. I wonder how heavy this shoe would be. You know what I mean? So anyways, there's that. Moving on to the ventilation. Yeah, it's terrible. It's super hot. And yeah, it feels like a sauna. So the ventilation was terrible. Moving on to the aesthetics. It's alright. You know, I definitely don't like this knit collar area. It's super thick. So when I have it on, it looks like I have cankles. So I just don't like this part. You know, if it didn't have this part, I feel like I would like the shoe a lot more. But since it does, I'm not a huge fan. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. But I guess one thing I do like about the aesthetics though is like this reflective part here in the heel. But that's about it. Alright, wrapping things up. Yeah, don't get it. It does not basketball very well. Especially comparing to the Quantums. The Quantums are significantly lighter. It's a lot more supportive. And the cushion is just as good, and the traction is just as good as well. So if you want a Yeezy basketball shoe, I would suggest just get the freaking Quantums, dude. Do not get these shoes. These are absolutely horrendous. Support is terrible. You're going to feel very sluggish, super slow. And you're gonna feel fatigued just because this shoe is really heavy. So yeah, there you go. I wasted a lot of money on this shoe, and well, not a lot. I think I paid like probably after all the fees, it was maybe like $200. I think. It's still expensive though, so that definitely does suck, and I'm kind of sad about it. But I'm telling you guys, I'm warning you guys, do not ball in this shoe. It's not that good. So there it is. There's my performance review of the Yeezy Knit Basketball. If you guys do want to cop for casual reasons, because it's a comfortable shoe, then I'll leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.